Hi, I'm going. Hi, I'm Greg.
Hi, I'm John.
Hi, I'm John Rocha.
John Rocha, the Rocha Says, at the Rocha Says on Twitter and Instagram, and he usually takes over for the rest of his self-promotion from here. What else do you do?
Every Friday on Collider Movie Talk, I also host a podcast with my friend Steve Morris called The Cine-Files, Cine-Files, and on iTunes and Cine-Files on Stitcher, where me and him break down one classic movie that was released before the year 2007, because of 10 years is kind of our window, and we just break it down over an hour and a half, talk about its production history, talk about the casting, and all that kind of jazz.
Nice.
Oh, and the Outlaw Nation podcast
I was gonna
is
say.
coming. That is going to drop on the Schmoedown YouTube channel, Schmoedown podcast channel very, very soon. And I've invited these two fools, these two rejects, to come on the show with me to argue about anything they want to argue about or talk about anything they want to talk about. So
I'm very excited.
How weed is not for children is what I want to argue.
who's in the camp for this? I want to meet these
It's
people.
me and a couple of other people feel very passionate about this. And he's also the movie trivia Schmoedown champion.
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, we've all seen The Mist in here, haven't we?
Oh,
Feel good movie this summer.
I watched The Mist for the first time today. Humphrey let me borrow his Blu-ray.
Oh, nice.
I hated the ending like everyone else did. I did not like that ending. But I love the movie overall. Other than the last couple minutes, I love the movie.
Is there an alternate ending, or is that not? Did it never shoot one?
Oh, I don't know. It's a good question. I think there might be, actually.
All right.
I mean, I know the book
wow.
ends differently.
Yes,
So-
the book does end differently.
And
I heard the book there's no mist, actually.
it's very clear day.
It's just a day to the superstore, the grocery store. All right, so this is for Spike TV. Apparently, the show got a lot of requests for this.
Nice.
Let's watch this minute and a half of what will be a lot of hours of TV.
Ooh. Well, we see the mist.
Do not fear.
Okay.
I woke up in the mountains and couldn't even remember my name.
Lock the doors.
Oh, that guy.
What was it? What'd you see?
We can't stay here. We gotta go now.
I believe this is Judgment Day.
Your God's not here.
Arrowhead, do you copy?
6 feet under action.
I felt something.
What did you feel?
That it knew me.
Did you hear something? That's what it does. Screws with your mind. And now Mother Nature's had enough.
What? Whoa!
There's something in the mist.
That is different than the movie.
Yeah. Way less Thomas Jane.
Wow, it's like it's
intense.
becoming like American Horror Story meets a little bit of Walking Dead to me.
Yeah.
I could see like
maybe
both of
Candle
those.
Cove,
Yeah.
good measure. Just throw them on.
When I heard show, I thought like, oh, it's all going to take place in the grocery store over the course of the season, and then we're just going to get to know the characters really well. This is totally different. You got the grocery store element, you got the church element, you got the story with the cops, you got a soldier, and then
This takes the mist and goes, what if it was everywhere else in town too?
yeah, looks like a real psychological mindfuck. Like
Yeah.
the guys kiss each other, then he punches him, and then I think the same guy's having sex with a woman later.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, man.
it's just sexual confusion.
Sexual
That's what the mist
confusion.
does to
I mean,
you.
that's what I was really missing in that first movie. It was like, this needs to be steamy. Like, I want my blood
It's
pumping.
called the mist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not using it to its fullest potential. But you know what is always used to the fullest potential is fucking Frances Conroy.
Yeah.
That's actually the most exciting thing to me about this trailer is like she's always one of my favorite things about every season of American Horror Story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, she's
And
great,
like-
a creepy old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like one of the few characters in this trailer that seems pretty distinct.
Yeah, there's a lot of actors that I don't recognize in terms of like knowing their names, but I know I've seen them on other things.
Yeah.
And so they it's interesting the way they cast it because every face, it's unique, it's different. It's not what you'd standard see as like a CW lead. It's a little more edgier. Their faces are more gaunt and sharper edges, or the cop has a more of a granite face. And I think that's perfect because it kind of adds this feeling of being off-center, which I imagine is what that woman is saying when she's in the church. Like, that's what it does. It messes with your mind. So that looks intense, man. This looks fantastic. I'm absolutely going to put this on the DVR.
It's crazy to see what Spike TV is becoming.
Yeah.
You know, I just saw they have a documentary, I Am Heath Ledger. Out, and then they have this. I'm like, they're becoming... Everything is trying to become actual television now, you know?
Remember when they couldn't figure out what network they wanted to call themselves? They were like TNN and the Men's Channel. And whatever.
I always thought this was like a pro channel. The way it's shot, it does have a little bit of that Ryan Murphy flair to it.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy and like crossed with like Wayward Pines. I was getting like a Wayward Pines vibe, like small town paranoia.
Yeah.
You know, which is, built into the original one. But that's what I'm the most curious about with this, is just like, I hope the writing's good. Because there's a lot of imagery in this trailer and not a lot of people talking about stuff, you know, and shows are thick. But
well, the Catholic stuff combined with the more look like demonic symbols when they were doing the fast jump cuts looks like it's going to be an interesting exploration of that whole thing. Like, what is the truth? What is not the truth? It seems like most of them are hiding out in the church anyway. For how long?
I thought that was a good touch because I like that implement when I watched the movie today of all the Christianity elements and more than just a crazy Christian woman. Like, it starts to actually influence everyone.
It seeps through the room.
Yeah, exactly.
You watch people behave and divide.
And so it's even more fascinating. Like, why don't they just put it directly? One story will just be directly inside of a church this time, you know? So it's going to get like 10 times more religious.
Well, it's intriguing that they really, it seemed to me, like went out of their way only to tease what could be in the mist. Because the first one plays out kind of like there is a definite monster movie vibe, and I'm almost wondering if this will be like a better chance to get that smoke monster motif, right? Where it's like, okay, they only come out sometimes, but when they do, it means something.
And it looked like a livestock or animal was going through the cop's car.
I thought they just hit a deer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, every horror thing, you gotta hit a deer.
You gotta hit a deer.
It's not a horror movie if you're not killing deer.
It is a weird, like, there's a lot of that, right?
Yeah, I guess that's
a lot
true.
of CGI deer and stuff.
The movie I thought was really well done, and I thought when I heard show, you know what I said earlier, what I thought it would be. Doing this is probably the best way you could translate it to television.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite kind of remakes in general, where you take a similar concept, but you give us a whole new set of characters, different environment, different plot situations, but similar setup. And the setup of this is, you know, a mist invades a town, and here's how it's affecting the people in the town. So for the show to be effective, we just got to be very invested in these characters and care about them when they're going through this turmoil. Otherwise, it'll be like what you said earlier, just be like, yeah, this looks fucking cool, but I don't really give a shit about what's happening to anyone in the movie, in the show.
And I think that's why the problem, and of course you can explore this with Stephen King, the reason why a lot of his films don't transfer positively to the big screen is because he's an incredible storyteller with very dense storylines that explore the humanity of the characters. You know, it looks like the remake looks like well, not a remake, but like the first feature film of it looks like they're going to get that right, at least from that trailer. But like, there's so many other things that don't. So to me, this is the best way to tell Stephen King stories is in a TV series.
format,
right?
Definitely.
So you have enough time to explore. Like, I always thought The Stand is a great thing to be doing a TV series. Needful Things is a fantastic book that that movie was not good enough to match how good that book was. There's so much to explore within his books, and if you haven't read his stuff, if you're a young viewer or listener now to these awesome dudes, then go and read his stuff. Read his stuff when he was Bachman as well. There's so much to explore with Stephen King that you'll understand how to dissect story and appreciate story and how to build characters up. And I think this show looks like it's going to explore that really, really well.
Hopefully.
Well, it seems like now is a really good time for a Stephen King style adaptation because we've embraced TV is where it is. We've embraced weirdness. We've also embraced the limited series. You know, so like you can mine these novellas and stuff like that. You don't have to keep them on forever. Like I feel like now is a really fertile time for these kinds of writers to get their stories translated. So.
And the Shining made-for-TV movie and the Carrie made-for-TV movie were the best things I've ever seen. personally.
What?
And I think that's what makes me a movie expert.
Love to
is
make
having good opinions on
love to make
what's out there.
Steven Weber was so good.
Steven Weber
in that Shining film.
He blew Jack Nicholson. It's
I don't
like
even
when
remember
there was
Jack.
Jack as the Joker and then Heath as the Joker. Steven Weber was the Heath Ledger.
What?
Taking it back.
That's what drove me nuts. Stephen King came out and said that's the closest to the character that I wrote. And I was like, was it?
It's like when James Cameron said Terminator Genesis is the real
Oh,
Terminator.
yeah.
We're all off topic here.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, subscribe to The Real Rejects. He's Reasons to Jerry on Twitter and Instagram. He's a social media manager at Blumhouse and The Real Rejects. John Rocha is on everything we mentioned. Follow him at The Rocha Says on Instagram and Twitter. Camera's about to cut. Good night!